This is the K-12 Engineering Education Podcast, Season 3. Welcome back to another installment of the show, a podcast that features discussions and stories about how to teach and learn engineering throughout kindergarten, all the way up through high school and beyond. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host and resident engineer, Pius Wong. Today, educational consultant Rachel Farrig is joining me again to co-host as we talk about math anxiety. What's up, Rachel?
Hi, Pius.
Welcome to 2018. This is season 3 of the
Happy
podcast.
New Year.
Happy New Year. It's also Chinese New Year.
I know. I just got an email from my son's teacher. She gave them little gifts.
Oh, what did you
like
get?
the whole school.
Little like lucky red envelopes or something? Or
It's a red envelope with a
money?
little bit of money in
Hey,
it. Yeah.
because we Chinese people, we appreciate money, I guess.
Well, we white people appreciate money too.
I'm just promoting stereotypes. Yeah, we all appreciate money.
It's
Money
universal.
that this podcast
But it
does
was
not
unexpected.
Make, but yeah, no, that's cool.
It was very kind and very lucky. We're lucky to have her in our lives.
Nice.
The year of the dog.
Yes, the year of the dog.
So
Because they're hardworking.
Right. So Kobe and Bo will both be happy.
Yes, our dogs can be happy this year, and we'll see what they can do.
It's all about them.
Yes. Oh, man. All right. Well, we are starting out a new season. Thank you for joining me on this.
Season 3.
Season 3. A lot of stuff has happened, I think, since our last year of stuff. I took a little break since the winter time, and now we're back. And I wanted to start off this season broaching kind of a big topic that we might be able to narrow down.
We can have some follow-ups.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I want to talk about anxiety.
In general.
Specifically, anxiety in engineering education, which may manifest as math anxiety, I feel like, most often. And I'm thinking about this, Rachel, because I'm teaching math right now to a bunch of students.
Yeah.
And it's cool because, like any group of students, like you've taught lots of students yourself, so you know this. There's like a wide range of attitudes towards math and problem solving. Sometimes there are people who just jump right in and they don't care about making mistakes. And then there's others who might know stuff and they freeze up during tests. And then there's others who just feel lots of anxiety in general.
You just walk in and you see the problem and you're over it already.
Yeah, which I imagine is not very helpful if you're going to be studying engineering.
It's not. And so beyond teaching students with math anxiety, I have math anxiety.
You say that in present tense.
Present, because it doesn't ever go away.
Really?
So there are accommodations that you can get in your learning, either self-found, I guess, accommodations, things that you discover that help you muddle through a math problem, or sometimes they're prescribed by, a state or a learning plan or whatever it happens to be. Sometimes you just have a really, really excellent teacher who gets you and they know how to teach things multiple ways. But essentially, the root cause, that anxiety, doesn't ever fully get eliminated.
You say that you have math anxiety. What does that feel like for someone who doesn't know what that is?
Well, imagine that you have to accomplish a small problem. Let's say loading the dishwasher. So you have a sink full of dishes and they have to go in the dishwasher and get washed. That's pretty much it, right? Now, we all know that there are multiple ways to make that happen. How many marriages argue over the right way to load a dishwasher, or parents who argue with their kids, or whatever
I
it
get
is.
I get it. I grew up not having one. Chinese people don't use a dishwasher. So speaking of Chinese New Year. And so yeah, I would probably have disagreements about that.
Yeah. And even if you sometimes too, this piece has to be hand washed. Why? Because it has to be. Why? Because I said so. There's nothing wrong with putting it in the dishwasher, whatever it turns into an argument. And so because there are so many different methods of solving problems, and depending on what class you're in, so I think about the difference between solving some problems algebraically versus solving them geometrically versus solving them trigonometrically, which that's telling you my age because those were the maths that I studied in high school. You can take a problem and solve it any of those 3 different ways, but only one is right, in air quotes, for that specific course. So there's a sense of memorizing the rules and the processes and the theory behind it. But I can tell you when my math anxiety started.
When?
Multiplication tables in 3rd grade.
Explain.
I was paralyzed with fear that I could not get the right answer in the allotted time. Multiplication tables and recall actions are often timed activities. Even now for simple, single digit addition and subtraction problems, students will get worksheets of somewhere between 15 and 50 addition or subtraction problems, and they have to complete it in a certain amount of time. Now, I get that there is some argument for expediency and the need for immediate recall, especially once you get into higher level mathematics. It is incredibly difficult, if not near impossible, to teach someone advanced calculus if they're still doing out 3 by 3 or 27 divided by 9 on their fingers or with a calculator. I get that. But when we are drilling so hard that it's making kids unable to function at those higher levels, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what the balance is. I don't know what the solution is. What I do know is doing those kinds of things made math so hard for me to accomplish. Even though I took advanced mathematics in high school, I had to have extra help, extra tutoring. I went back to former math teachers and said, can you teach me this new concept in the old way that you used to teach me, because I can't get it from this new teacher. Now, granted, I had a lot of agency. I was also very outspoken. I had no concept of that students shouldn't approach teachers to ask for extra help. I just did what I needed to do. I'm pretty bold. I was then and I am now. But it affected me all through my childhood. I would spend hours, literally hours, like 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours a night on my 15 math problems. Because I just couldn't get through the process. I couldn't wrap my head around it. I couldn't understand it. And then I would become so overwhelmed by my own frustration that it essentially sucks all the knowledge from your brain. You forget what you just learned because all you can do is try to cope.
So there's like a feeling of stress, deer in headlights kind of thing where you lose the knowledge that you had.
I would say drowning.
And when you're drowning, you aren't thinking about what is 3 plus 7. No, I'm not thinking about, swim perpendicularly
to the riptide. I don't even know what this symbol means.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's a real thing, and it's really difficult. And so, for example, when I first started college, I had an environmental engineering major, but because I struggled so much with math and I started college at a time when we still did this, I wasn't given support. I was weeded out.
Wow.
And that does still bug me.
Hey, in this short break, I want to say thank you to the spectacular listeners who help fund this podcast ever since season 1, season 2, and now season 3. If you like what I'm doing with my independent studio, Pios Labs, and with this show, keep on listening, keep on tweeting me, and if you'd like, donate to Pios Labs on Patreon as well. Go onto your browser and type in patreon.com/Pios Labs to donate. That's patreon.com/PIOSLABS. It's also in the show notes. Thanks. Rachel, I heard you say 3 things there which stood out to me. First of all, I noticed that you are an example of someone who could experience strong anxiety about one particular thing, and yet you're not anxious about going out and speaking to the professor, to the teacher, which would have been the opposite for me probably when I was younger. Yeah, because I was a shy kid. I don't want to go to my professor and argue about my grade or like get into a special class or anything.
No, but if you don't learn, if you're not learning and you know that you want to do well, wouldn't you?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's the logical decision,
exactly.
But that anxiety would make me throw logic out the window.
I see what you're saying.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But like, so that's just an interesting observation that someone can have anxiety in kind of specific domains. You also talked about how 2 things seem to be sources of stress for you or sources of anxiety. One was like the different choices that you can make in solving a math problem, because when you open that can of worms of solving a math problem, you could solve it a whole bunch of ways. And I've noticed that, by the way, in teaching some of my classes, some of my students might be a little overwhelmed or anxious about having all these different ways to solve a problem, and you have to help whittle down the choices. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, what's that called? Not anxiety
elimination.
Choice. Well, like, how you've heard of those sociological studies where you go to a supermarket and you have like a million choices for potato chips. Yes. It makes you not want to buy any of them.
No, I'm going to leave this behind. I'm so overwhelmed that I am going to ignore it.
What if I choose the wrong potato chip when really any of them are fine probably? So it's kind of like this grab bag of math solution strategies.
Sure.
It's like, what if I choose that wrong one?
And I don't think that I was given good solution strategies. I went to school in a time and a place where this way was the way. That's it.
They were giving you one way to solve this problem.
But if any of the teachers, and teachers are human, if they accidentally missed a step, or if they didn't explain a step in a way that I could latch onto, that's tough for me.
Well, that sucks.
That's the explanation you have, and you only get 2 examples.
Wow.
So
math builds on itself, so that would be horrible because
they teach. So another problem that I have is fluidity and context. Typically, we teach algebra first because it does have a lot of those foundational skills, manipulating variables, for example, understanding the relationship between a numerical sentence and what it looks like on a graph.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at graphical information, we can understand the mathematical function behind it. I didn't put that together, honestly, until I was in my early 30s.
Dang.
And I took algebra. The last time I took algebra, I was not yet 20. So it took a long time and a lot of space and sort of different contexts for me to understand, this is a function and this is how we represent it. And that's what that means. So maybe I'm assuming that things have changed significantly. Again, this isn't a back in the day story. I'm all about, innovation and change in education. But I know that sort of conceptual understanding is not occurring with regularity and with high fidelity.
Like not every school across the country where it should be.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some educators are still relying on, here's a problem, here's how to solve it, period. Yeah. Now go practice 50 of these without any sort of context or relevance or why would I use this? And certainly I taught science. I heard plenty of, when am I ever going to use this?
Yeah. You
have to be very, very explicit, I would say, in mathematics instruction. And I think that would have helped my anxiety a lot. Even
connecting it to the real world?
Yes. Even going back again to that third grade multiplication tables. First of all, yeah, there probably should have been some flexibility in the timing, but understanding the bigger picture of how all these pieces sort of fit together and why 3 times 4 is 12 and why 9 times whatever is whatever it is.
Yeah. Do you think that giving students more ways to visualize or abstract or think about these math concepts, do you think that gives them more choices to freak out over? Or, for example, we're teaching negative numbers right now, and you could think about negative numbers in many ways, with money, with directions, with, Othello pieces that are black and white. I like doing that. But I noticed that, one method that may work for someone may not work for someone else. Sure. And if you show all of these methods, maybe that's overwhelming. I don't know.
It could be, but I think it's more likely that showing more options will include and engage and reach more people than not. You're likely to turn on more people than you are to turn off.
Okay. Because you don't need to know every single method, but maybe you find that one that works for you.
Yeah. And if you don't show me, let's say there are 5 methods to solving a specific problem, and you only show me 2, but for some reason I latch on to, let's say another teacher years later shows me methods 3, 4, and 5, and it was method number 4 that not only made sense for that specific context, but also made it possible for me to see the links between that particular concept and other related concepts. Well, then you've expanded my learning just by showing me one additional method.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to go to the third thing you had mentioned that we mentioned several times, the timing issue.
Oy.
I mean, I know that feeling of a time test. It's related to test anxiety.
Yep.
But yeah, we taught an engineering class at the college here in Texas where, you had to do circuits and do math all within this hour. And it was like diffusing a bomb, with all the wires and everything. And if you didn't do it in time, you would get a C.
It blows up. And,
no, seriously, the metaphorical explosion of getting a C or a D on the lab.
Of course.
And that's really anxiety inducing.
It is.
And so I assume that the way we ran that class, I didn't choose to run that, but that's just how the department ran it. There was a decision to do that. Just that I guess they decided that there was value in teaching people to do some kind of mathematical work or scientific work in a time limit, just like how we have time limits for the SAT, for midterms.
Sure.
How do you balance that, giving people a time limit and teaching people to work under pressure with teaching them to have math anxiety for the rest of their lives? What's that balance?
I don't know, to be honest.
Maybe it's different for different people.
It for sure is. And for me, so for example, I learned how to do most of my multiplication tables, and we did up through 12 times 12. In other schools, they did up through 15 times 15. It just depended. So even now, if you ask me to do 11 times whatever, I don't know, because it wasn't on my, or 13 times whatever, I guess I should say, because it wasn't on my learning radar.
Right.
But what I had to learn how to do, and again, this is an accommodation, there were some sets of numbers that I just didn't learn as well. And even now, I still kind of have to count them out on my fingers. So 7s and 9s were exceptionally hard for me. I don't know why, but if the problem comes up, what is 7 times 6? I don't know. I really have to think about it. I know now that it's 42, but I had to have some extra think time. I hope it's 42.
What's really interesting is that you might have had trouble with that, but you knew that you had trouble with that, which was the key or most important feature, I feel. Because sometimes some people don't know things, and they don't know they don't know things. Well, and that's the most dangerous thing for engineers.
I don't know that I'm always a good comparison. I was always pretty self-aware and self-reflective as a learner, as a student, even as a small child. Not every child is. And maybe the answer, or maybe one of the possible solutions, is allowing children to recognize their own strengths and their own challenges, and then asking them what might help you with those challenges, or can we work around those challenges, or do we just have to accept that challenge as it is and build up other areas to compensate? So I can do other groups of multiplication just fine. I just take longer with 7s and 9s. But I mean, it worked out okay. I ended up with multiple college degrees, and I can balance a checkbook and do some algebra here and there, you know, calculate how many bags of roof tiles I need for replacing my roof or whatever. So I got there. I made it okay. But I also recognized that I'm going to need more time here, or I don't do this part well, or I have to do this part out on paper. And so maybe walking students through their own accommodations and their own methods of making up for those weaker areas, maybe that's a way to not only, improve their learning process, but also help ease that anxiety. I don't have to be perfect at every single part of this, because I can make it up over here, and I'm still going to get good grades. I'm still going to get the right amount of learning. I'm going to understand this concept, and I'm going to be able to apply it later.
Thank you, Rachel. I think that we are almost done. I just want to talk about what's upcoming for this year. What topics do you think we should cover?
Teaching in alternative environments.
Oh, all right. Alternative environments, including prisons. All right, we're going to do that. So stay tuned. We have some viewpoints about that, and especially how you teach STEM classes in prison.
Yeah.
I know that school choice is a big old buzzword for this year and last year, and probably for the next couple of years.
In the long past and in the long future, I'm sure.
Yeah, now I know that some of us on this podcast are in real life professional positions where they cannot just talk about every single thing that they want to talk about. But I am not in one of those positions, and I can say whatever I want. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to work with Southern, our other special guest co-host, to do kind of an introduction to engineering in general. We're going to pilot some of the episodes here. And then if you want to learn about mechanical engineering and not go to college for it, well, you can get a preview of it on this podcast. So stay tuned for that as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell them the good stuff, though? The other thing, the big thing.
Well,
thing.
They have to listen to after the credits. I think the music will be playing by now.
Well, then stay tuned. Everybody knows you're supposed to sit through the credits.
Did you want to look up more about anything that Rachel or I have mentioned today? Well, just check the show notes for this episode, and I'll have some links and other info up. Don't miss out on new episodes coming out. Subscribe on your favorite podcast player and leave me some reviews on iTunes or Stitcher to help others find the show too. Also, I can't say enough how gratifying it is to get little tweets and emails and other messages saying you've enjoyed particular episodes, so keep them coming. Find the show, find Rachel, find me on Twitter, Facebook, etc. Get all the details at the podcast website, k12engineering.net. Our closing music in this episode is from Late for School by Bleeptor under a Creative Commons Attribution license. The K-12 Engineering Education Podcast is a production of Pios Labs, and you can support Pios Labs at patreon.com/Pios Labs.
You sit after the credits. This
like,
is what you get.
It's like the blooper reel.
Exactly.
You can hear all my uhs and likes all in one take.
Oh my gosh. I just realized that I have started saying like a lot again. I got rid of it and it's back.
My brother had said that you have a very good radio voice the other day.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Which brother?
Linus.
Aww,
I don't know if I can name drop on here, but
Linus.
Yeah, but
is he's still in Asia?
Yes, he's doing the software engineering in Asia type thing.
Shout out to Linus.
Yeah.
Be safe, bro.
The life of an engineer, yeah. I agree. Well, we are in the post show notes.
Yes.
the most important thing is that whoever's listening should know we are at
Drum roll.
at South by Southwest EDU.
South by EDU.
Wow.
Sorry, where did that come from?
You should do the audio branding for them, like how NBC has that.
I don't think they want me to do that.
But no, we're doing a lot of things, actually, once more. We have, first of all, a podcasting meetup.
Yes.
Podcasting for education meetup.
Networking and learning opportunities.
Yeah. Finding people who you want to learn from.
Getting ideas.
Create a podcast with if you want to work with us.
Right?
Or if you want to
share
learn how
your
to
ideas.
Share your ideas. Learn how to teach your students using
podcasts.
I have a podcaster in a future episode coming up, actually. So besides that meetup where you will meet us and other people, we also have a workshop there.
A full-on workshop, yes.
It's, what's it called? It's called Designing Lessons.
Yes.
Using tips from improv and engineering. Exactly.
So it's fun, and it's smart, and it's useful.
It's yours truly, including Rachel and me, as well as a local improv trainer here in Austin.
Bev?
Yep. Amara will be helping us out, and it's going to be real fun. And so besides that, I'm doing a book signing.
Shameless plug. Couldn't be prouder.
Yeah, no, just take a look at my reference guide. It's Engineer's Guide to Improv and Art Games, and I can play some with you.
It's
if you
available on Amazon.
In print, on Amazon,
print,
as well as an ebook.
Yes.
On Amazon.
I have both.
Thank you.
Get both.
Yeah, it's on sale. It's actually lower
really
priced.
actually. So I keep it at work, and I work in an educational environment, but not around students. We guide administrators toward improving their schools. But I share that book with all of my colleagues.
Oh.
And they have shared some of those strategies with their administrative teams that they're supporting.
Thank you.
And we get great feedback.
Cool. Ooh, we're going to do one of the methods that are in the book inside our workshop.
Yeah.
We're going to do empathic lead user analysis, but for educational classrooms.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
It will.
Yeah. So I think that's it. I'm also going to be poking around with my microphone, trying to find little stories at South by EDU. Aww. So if you got any leads that you don't want public, just email me silently, and I'm officially going to be a journalist for them.
Or if you know someone who wants to talk, let us know and let them know. Have them seek us out, or we'll go find them.
We are definitely meeting people for the podcast at South by, so come by.
Yep.
We'd love to have you.
I can't wait.
Thanks.
Thank you.